What was one of the surprises in the coverages you saw in the WNBA?
Ooh, I mean, a lot of trapping. Like, there's just so many athletic 5 players, and you need to score. Like, you need to execute. That's how you get people to stop trapping, you know. And honestly, early in the season, we weren't very good at that, and then we got a lot better. And honestly, I give Aaliyah Boston a lot of credit. I don't think you got to give a lot of credit to Aaliyah, but I think just the trapping. People can switch 1 through 5 or 1 through 4, and then you have a quick guard on you, but then you get switched and you have a longer, not as quick.
I had to adjust fast. Those were Caitlin Clark's exact words when asked about her WNBA transition. No sugarcoating, no filter, just raw honesty from the rookie who's about to face the toughest challenge of her career. In this shocking interview with legends Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, Clark reveals the mental battles nobody's talking about. You think college basketball was pressure? Wait until you hear what Clark admitted about her first weeks with the Fever. Even Diana's reaction said it all. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. So let's talk about the biggest bombshell from this interview.
I think I got better at it.
People think, and then people think basketball's easy. There's a lot to process in one pick and roll. Yeah, and that's what sets you and Sue apart, is like decisions that people miss. I mean, I think the hard hedge was always annoying. Being a bigger guard, I feel like little guards can split it, get around it. Like, I would always try to fight and go around, as you know. So probably the hedge was just annoying.
People are like top blocking you, like just how savvy you are to like fool them and fool the refs, and like the way you use screens. Like, honestly, like I just loved watching it up close. Like, it was impressive. Like, you could tell you played the game for a really long time.
Caitlin Clark straight up admitted to 2 WNBA legends that transitioning to the pro game feels like learning basketball all over again. This wasn't just typical rookie humility. Clark, who dominated college basketball like nobody we've seen before, looked genuinely concerned as she opened up to Bird and Taurasi about the reality check she's facing. What makes this so shocking is how effortless Clark made everything look at Iowa. Remember those half-court logos she casually pulled up from? Those no-look passes that had defenders spinning? Well, all that magic doesn't automatically translate when you're suddenly facing athletes who can match your speed or exceed it. The most fascinating part of the interview came when Clark got super specific about what's actually challenging her.
Yeah. Are we going to commercial break?
No, you gotta answer.
Okay,
we got time.
My favorite.
Wow. This is good for you. Your favorite.
This is
therapy. This is a therapy.
Yeah, like, see, like,
isn't he a
I
Phoenix
just like
guy?
them to like actually have a conversation with you. Like, come on, like we just want to talk. Like, and obviously there's two sides to that always.
The
like
approach.
Technicals and ejections. Here's the time Diana got ejected and sent me this photo from the locker room.
She didn't just give the usual everyone's faster and stronger line that rookies say. Instead, she broke down exactly what's throwing her off her game. There's a lot of trapping, Clark explained, talking about defensive schemes she rarely faced in college. You could see Bird nodding knowingly when Clark described how WNBA defenders use their athleticism and length to make those traps nearly impossible to escape. Clark even admitted she got pretty uncomfortable when forced into the mid-range game. That's a huge revelation from someone who looked like she could score from anywhere on the floor in college. She talked about needing to develop a reliable floater and improve finishing through contact, skills that weren't as crucial when she could just bomb threes over smaller defenders in the NCAA.
the best thing about last year is like we honestly had so much fun together. Yeah, we lost our first 8 games or whatever, but like we wouldn't have won if we didn't have a tight-knit circle or a good locker room. And that's
AZ Fudd has 21 points.
There we go.
Malaysia for a while getting off, but it's still a 13-point game.
They just need to cut it to like 7 at going into the 4th, and they're good. You guys can be biased. I mean, want me to choose between South Carolina and UConn? Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's not fair.
Yeah.
That's a bit unfair.
She's like, neither.
Yeah, I know.
I want to win.
I wouldn't root for it. If it was Iowa and Notre Dame playing right now, I'd be like,
Bird's reaction was priceless when Clark described having to completely adjust her shooting rhythm. The WNBA legend sat forward, clearly surprised by Clark's candor. The hard hedge was always annoying, Bird chimed in, relating to Clark's struggles. She explained how she would fight and go around it during her playing days, offering the rookies some veteran perspective. What made this conversation so fascinating was watching Clark process this advice in real time. "It's hard to think about it in the moment," she admitted, showing a vulnerability we rarely see from her. There was a brief silence where you could almost see her mental gears turning, trying to absorb everything these legends were sharing. Taurasi jumped in with her own rookie horror stories, creating this unexpected moment of connection between the established GOAT and the incoming superstar. DT described defensive schemes that totally shut down her game early in her career and how she had to evolve. Clark's eyes widened hearing that even Taurasi struggled, like she was thinking, if Diana went through this too, maybe I'll be okay. The conversation took a really interesting turn when Clark revealed her biggest fear isn't even the physical adjustments, but the mental pressure. She talked about joining a fever team where she'll have 7 new teammates looking to her, a rookie, for leadership. That's an incredible burden for any first-year player, but especially for someone carrying as much hype as Clark. Clark's solution? She's spending a lot of time in the weight room to physically prepare, but more importantly, she's developing a different mindset. She mentioned how having experienced teammates will make her life easier.
And being able to play out of that, like, it's hard. Like, you and your post player have to be on the same page, but also, like, once you get the advantage and have a 4-on-3, like, people don't realize how good of a passer she is. Like, she's a really good passer.
Yeah.
There was a few games there where she almost got a triple-double just because she, like, moves and distributes the ball really well. So,
you guys make it before it even happens. And that's why it's, you know.
Wait, so now that you're retired, D,
Yeah.
you can be honest. What was the most difficult pick and roll coverage for you?
A humble acknowledgement that she's going to need help, not just try to carry the team herself. What struck me was Clark's emphasis on communication. She specifically talked about coordinating with her post players to counter those defensive traps. This shows she's thinking like a pro already, understanding that individual brilliance won't be enough at this level. You need to execute within a system. The entire tone of the conversation shifted when Clark revealed how she's approaching this challenge mentally. She drew on her experience of losing her first 8 college games at Iowa, a rough start that taught her resilience. This comparison seemed to genuinely impress both Bird and Taurasi. They exchanged this look, this subtle nod of respect that spoke volumes. That moment felt significant. 2 legends who've seen countless hyped rookies come and go, silently acknowledging that Clark might just have the mental makeup to survive the brutal adjustment period ahead of her. It wasn't about her shooting range or passing ability. It was about her understanding that success in the W requires adaptation, humility, and persistence. And as the interview wrapped up, we got to see the most authentic side of Caitlin Clark. You know what really stood out? That moment when she looked straight at Bird and Taurasi and said, "I know I'll make mistakes, but I'm not afraid of them anymore." That's huge. This wasn't just highlight reel Clark we're seeing on ESPN. This was a young player being brutally honest about the challenges ahead. What makes Clark different isn't just her insane shooting range or court vision. It's this mental toughness she's bringing to her rookie season. As the real games approach, that fearless mindset might just be her secret weapon.